Good morning, beloveds. It is Friday. It is October 14th. That means that tomorrow you'll get this at night because tomorrow is Saturday and I'm going to the park, but not the Myers Park. I'm going to the Texas Renaissance Festival Park to work, 8 or 10 hours there and then come home. So, and we'll see. And everything is healing nicely, thankfully, and I keep finding new bruises. So, there's that. I have a bruise. The bruise is coming up along my right calf muscle. But using a stapler is no longer a challenge. So there's that. Okay. So like I said, it is October 14th. Our title is Peace. The first quote is, "The peace of God which passes all understanding shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus." And that is Philippians 4:7. And then the second quote is, "Peace is an inner calm, obtained through people's knowledge of what they believe and why. Peace is brought about through a conscious unity with the Peace is brought about through a conscious unity of the personal person with the inner principle of their life." And that is Science of Mind, page 445. All right. Have you ever awakened terror-stricken in the middle of the night without knowing the reason? That happened to me early one Sunday morning when I was to conduct a service at my church. My heart was pounding, and I felt as though I would start hyperventilating any moment. I wondered if I would make it through the morning. Then I remembered a meditation technique my friend Ida had taught me a few days earlier. "Count backwards silently and slowly from 100 to 1, she told me, "and that will immediately place you in the alpha state." I decided to try it. The moment I started focusing on the numbers, I began to calm down. By the time I had reached 1, a wonderful phrase by Ernest Holmes occurred to me. "God as me, in me, is me." I began embodying each aspect of this remarkable phrase. All at once, the feeling of peace washed over me, along with an all-encompassing warmth. I am a beloved child of God. God and I are never separate. There is no separation in God. God and I are one. No matter what happens to me, the power and the presence of God are there to comfort me, protect me, heal me now and forever. And that is Rainbow Johnson. And so that is the truth. That is absolutely the truth. Peace is an inner state of mind. That I joke about patience frequently. Patience is a virtue. It's not one of mine. But what patience is it is what you do while you are waiting for something. That's all patience is. It's not sitting quietly. So patience for an extremely active person is just that. When you are waiting on something, when we're waiting on something to happen, what are we doing with our time? Are we fretting? Are we worrying? And what Rainbow Johnson, if I didn't say that, it's RJ, it's Rainbow Johnson, did when she woke up from that, she could have had a nightmare. I have nightmares. I know what that's like. And most of the time when I have a nightmare, I realize that I have a nightmare and I'm going, yeah, no, we're not doing this. And I will change the dream because I'm what they call a lucid dreamer. I know I'm dreaming and I don't put up with it. So, and that's kind of my life. I don't put up with it. So what she did, and it's one of the things that we can do, is she gave her monkey mind something to do. And I remember when I had my knee surgery, 15, 17, however many years ago it was, probably 17. I think I had it in 2005. When I went into the anesthesia, what they told me to do was count backwards from 100. It's not easy. Try it. Counting backwards from 100. They talk about counting sheep, but you're going up. It's actually far more work to count from 100 backwards. I remember getting to 97 and that's all I remember. And then I woke up in the recovery room. And so there's something about when your monkey mind spins out, when you are dealing with a circular thought, when that is the time to give your mind something to do. That's one of the reasons why they talk about focusing on the breath, because you are giving your monkey mind something to do. So it can focus on that, and you can calm down. You can bring those hormones down. Because some of our panic state is driven by hormones. We are actually a complex, this body that we wear is a complex machine. And it's run by electricity and hormones and chemicals, and and they can get into this terrific mess when we are, and that's one of the reasons why self-care is so important. Why making sure that you are moving your body and feeding your body, more good than not, so that you have all of the nutrients that you need to make the hormones and to balance the hormones and to do all of that. I just happen to work in an industry where I know a little bit more about the body than, the average person does. And so when you give your monkey mind something to do, it allows the body to calm down. That's one of the reasons why I'm one of those moving meditation people. If I give the body something to do, then the mind is focusing on making sure that the body is doing its job, be it walking, running, biking, it doesn't matter. Point is, the mind is focused on that, and then the soul or the spirit can do other things, i.e., head into that alpha state and make contact with the conscious contact with the source of my own being. And that's where peace begins. We talk about heaven being a state of mind, a state of consciousness. It's a deliberate choice. Well, how do we make a deliberate choice? We've got to set up our environment in ways to do that. And the way to set our environment up is, one, look at your external environment and go, does this spark joy? And if it doesn't spark joy, let go of it. Find it another home. And so that your environment isn't chaotic, so that your environment becomes more peaceful, more in line with what you think, feel, and believe. And then, and work on your body, and then try the technique of counting back from 100, or focusing on your breath, or whatever it is that gives your monkey mind, your ego, something to do. That's the interesting, your ego's job is to keep you safe. So when I would go for a run, then my ego's busy worrying about the body. And that lets the consciousness part of me, the spiritual part of me, do other things. So that's why I find moving meditation so effective for me, because I'm kind of hyperactive. But if you're the type who can sit cross-legged, and count backwards or stare at a candle flame, more power to you. You got to find the meditation techniques that work for you. And you got to find the calming techniques that work for you. I hate to keep leaning on my, dog story, but, when I, in that moment, my adrenaline spiked, but I was able to calm down immediately, once I verified that I was indeed okay. And, that was a quick momentary check-in, and I was able to respond. And that's the spiritual work that I have done up to this point. That is the self-care that I have done up to this point. That's what that looks like. All of the running and the biking and the exercise that I've done, the dietary choices that I have made, the spiritual work that I have done led me to the point that in moments like that, I could respond. I could respond peacefully, and because it's a choice. It is a choice, but there's a lot of layers to that choice, and you got to start where you are. And I love her idea of counting backwards from 100. Even if you don't make it to 1, You can stop when you hit the relief. So, and I think that's an excellent technique, and I will honor her for that. I will absolutely honor her for that. So, I would say that the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to come to an understanding of what peace means to us. Don't lean into the dictionary. Look up and see what peace means in the dictionary. And then what technique do you have that gets you to that state? If it's counting back from 100, if it's counting sheep, if it's, as I like to talk about, the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, kind for yourself, compassionate for yourself, taking a walk, taking a nap. What is it that you need to help support you into that peaceful state of mind, into that patient state of mind? We're all waiting for something. We're all waiting for something. What is it that we do that makes that bearable? So that is the mission, should you choose to accept it. What brings you peace? What brings you peace? And if her technique does, absolutely more power to you. I love the idea. I hadn't thought about that. I do, and that's what I did when I had my knee surgery. So, that's the mission today. Figure out the technique that brings you peace and do more of that. Do more of that. And if it's counting back from 100, absolutely. If it is meditation, if it is treatment, if it is calling a friend, do that. All right. The other thing is the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself every single day. Okay. And I say that because you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. It is a spiritual practice, and spiritual practices work better when we do them every day. Now, how you do that loving, kind, and compassionate thing, vary that to all heck. Take a nap, take a walk, take a deep breath. Or, as I say, it's not just about, self-care. It is also about making sure that you are enjoying life, which is self-care, by the way. So it might mean taking yourself to dinner at a fantastic restaurant and really enjoying your meal, or ordering dessert, and really enjoying your dessert. We went to, on Wednesday, since we were in a different part of town, we went to dinner. And Tom really loves flan, and I really don't. And we didn't order an appetizer, so it's like, that's the rule. You can have an appetizer or a dessert. And since we didn't have the appetizer, he ordered the dessert. I took one bite, and I was like, nope, not going to do it. He enjoyed every minute of that. Engage all five senses. Really enjoy it. It is a spiritual practice. It is. We are here to enjoy life. So, okay, take care of yourself. Do that spiritual practice of love, kindness, and compassion. Every day. All right. I'm sure that there was more that I was going to say, but I have other things that I need to get onto. So, here's where I will encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like. This week it has looked like getting all my active hours, which I've been mostly successful at, because the actual exercising is off the table. For a little bit longer. Yeah, still waiting on that one puncture I'm trying to stop tearing it open, just in regular movement. So until that stops, no exercising. So engage your mind and your body somehow. Drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. We're going to get that cold front, but not until Monday. So, here we are. Hydration is very important, especially when you're healing. And honestly, aren't we always healing all the time? Get that early in your day bright light to reset those circadian rhythms. You will sleep better at night and have more energy during the day. It's science. And in the words of Ernest Holmes, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around you all the time. because it is a state of mind. It is a state of consciousness. And since we've talked about peace and how we can bring more of that into our life, that's how we get there. That's how we get to heaven, by bringing more peace into our lives. When we take care of ourselves, when we are loving, kind, and compassionate with ourselves, when we create that bank of love, kindness, and compassion so that we can share it with other people, that's how we create heaven. We create heaven for ourselves. We can't create it for anybody else. We can only create it for ourselves by getting in touch with the source of our own being. But when we create it for ourselves, other people go, it's possible. And when they know it's possible, then they can create it for themselves. And then all those little bubbles of heaven create one big heaven. That's how we create a world that works for everybody. All right. So social media. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I am the Running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. So feel free to check all that out. If you happen to be watching the Running Rev Ryan page and you're wondering what the heck this is, that's what it is. It's Beyond Appearances. So check out the Creative Life. And if you want to know what's going on with the center, email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the constant contact. The hot links are hot. We've got book studies. We've got classes. We've got all that stuff going. So where am I? Yes, now is when I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you're enough just as you are. As I have said before and will continue to say at least once every day, you are a beloved child of God. We are beloved children of God, in whom God is well pleased and well represented, always. So, know that you are loved. Take care of yourself. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you again on Saturdays for the next 7 or so weeks. I will see you Saturday night. And then the rest of the time will be regularly scheduled. So, know that you're loved, take care of yourself, and I will see you next time.